Hi. I don't know if the echo is going to be too crazy in here or not. There were some people talking in my classroom, so couldn't do that. Anyway, the map is not the territory. When I learned about this one, just like all of them, I think I start every reflection like this. It's just so eye-opening. It really makes you think things differently and see differently. And so if you learn anything from anything that I write or reflect on, is this: do yourself a favor and study these things, so you can have your own interpretation of them. Again, I think I'm mainly doing this just to solidify my own learning, and if people find a service out of it, great. And if it inspires other people to study this stuff, especially if they're good, and especially if they're educators, even better. So the map is not the territory. This one is basically, anything that we have, any sort of models or maps or strategies. These are all abstract things. They're how we're trying to figure the world out. If you had a map that was one-to-one, right, it would be, you couldn't use it. If a mile was a mile, if a mile on the map was a mile of the territory, it would be the territory. And so you wouldn't use that. So everything we use in that sense is an abstract of the thing we're trying to figure out. And I think what's been so powerful for me for this one is it's really solidified some of the other thoughts and things I've been trying to do. Like when it comes to doing less and obsessing. That process then, when I started thinking of it this way, really led me into, and really the idea of Occam's razor about the simplest solution has really led me to, this is going to sound crazy. I'm looking at student work. Like their actual work, not exit slips, not small things that I'm asking them to do, but like when it comes to Reader's Workshop, I collect their notebooks every day. So I can see what kind of thinking and writing they're doing. When it comes to Writing Workshop, again, I think that's my focus right now, is reading and writing. It's just I'm farther along that practice of teaching than I am in my others. And I am one who tends to try and focus on everything at once, which is not good. So this has really helped me. It's helped me to respond to my students. It's helped me to really start thinking about the curriculum. I love, we use the Teachers College reading and writing units of study, and I adore the units of study. They are just things that, they're exciting, they're interesting. And I think what I've realized through these last few weeks in this process is that those are almost a map, right? It's a map of the work that Lucy Calkins and the dozens, if not hundreds, of teachers working with her have done over the last 30 years. Or 20, I would think 30 years. Is that right? All of the trial and tribulation, all the learning that they did, all the studying of the genres and all the trying this and that. It's a map of that. And it's taking away some of the work that we could be doing as educators on our own. And so I understand it, I respect it, and I like it. And I think in reflecting on my use of the units, the one thing it's really, really done for me is it's taught me how to do an effective mini lesson. Because of reading these units every year and always reading the lesson over and over in a session, what it's really done for me is really solidified and helped me internalize just what makes an excellent mini lesson. But what it hasn't done for me, and maybe it does it for other people, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I can always preface things with that, but what it hasn't done for me is really taught me the genres. Does that make sense? I need to be reading books about like I need to be reading, like right now we're teaching, we're in a fantasy unit. I need to be reading fantasy books and thinking about what makes a fantasy book. Because you look at through the wonderful units that they wrote, and it tells you like these are the pieces of a fantasy book. Well, me telling me that's probably an isolated fact that I need to somehow connect to something else so I can actually use it instead of just kind of meandering about. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. I need to try and take away, when I'm able to take away abstraction, I should, I guess, is my ultimate thought now on that. If you're able to take away abstraction, you should. And so part of that, and I think that leads to other things that I've done before too, if you read a blog post about someone's thoughts on a book, well, it's better to read the book, right? Because you're reading their thoughts on the book and they're mediating and they're abstracting when you could just read the book. And so it's beware of the shortcuts, I guess. And really try and think of what is the authentic things you can be looking at that will help you understand your students better. And so that for me is their work. And I think a side benefit to that is it helps them to be more responsible. When they know I'm going to look at it every day and give them a piece of feed forward to the next day, and I keep track who's doing what and where, it helps them to be like, oh, wow, he's going to look at this, so I better do something. So it really helps in that sense too. So this has been, again, my favorite mental model. Of course, I mean, combined with the other ones. And remember, and again, you got to always remember, not everything works all the time. But it's been really something to think about and to start implementing into my practice. Thank you for your time.